You can only sustain as far as you can carry. And in order for our community to be sustainable, it needs to be able to carry within itself.
By supporting and encouraging your local economy.
Using materials and processes that then can totally get recycled, 100%.
In such a fashion that future generations can make the same products using similar resources from the same planet.
Chicago has become a model for the nation.
We know our work is important because we have seen the changes here in Chicago. We want to be a greener city.
So that's the goal.
When I was first starting, I would call stores and be like, "Hi, I'm a Chicago-based designer, and I have an environmentally friendly line," and click. No, don't hang up. I'm Lara Miller, and I'm a local fashion designer here in the city of Chicago. I'm also the executive director of the Chicago Fashion Incubator at Macy's on State Street. What separates my line from other fashion companies? The most important thing is that I'm manufacturing locally, and that the textiles I work with are sustainable in some way. Also that we hand loom everything here, and that we hand loom everything here in Chicago. The other thing about the line in general is that pretty much everything in the line can be worn multiple ways. Mostly flipped upside down, or worn inside out, or wrapped in different ways. Some of the materials we work with are hemp, certified organic cotton, linen, bamboo, also ahimsa silk or peace silk. It's vegan silk. We've worked with a lot of raw silk. Those are the main ones we work with. The best thing possible, I think, is just to not use any man-made plastic-based fibers unless they are completely recycled. So many people go into the making of a garment. And if a t-shirt's only $10 and you start to break that down by like, okay, the mill made the fabric, and then, somebody cut it, and somebody made the pattern, and somebody sewed it, and then somebody made the label, and that label got sewn into it, and then it got folded and shipped and tagged, and now it's here in the store. It's a lot more expensive than that to make something responsibly. If you can think about what you really need in your closet, maybe work with a little bit less. You can still be really stylish and have, a really neat and fun wardrobe. I just feel really, really grateful to be able to make things that are made responsibly that people seem to really like. I feel this kind of responsibility to design better and help people and help things, help our environment, but help our local economy, help our manufacturing sector. I really see this major industry just growing here now, and if we can make sure that whatever we're doing that's works fashionably, it also makes a greater impact on our environment, that's awesome.
We have brought the restaurants into a new consciousness.
What makes a restaurant green is its commitment to sustainability on numerous levels.
My name is Ina Pinkney, and I am the chef owner of Ina's in the West Loop.
I'm Dan Rosenthal, and I'm the president of the Rosenthal group of restaurants here in Chicago.
We knew from the very beginning that what we were about to do would change a lot of things. Not only would restaurants save money and do the right thing, but the customers and the staff would benefit as well.
And through our Guaranteed Green program of certification that we have with the co-op, diners who want to dine in restaurants that they know are green can look for the Guaranteed Green logo to determine that those restaurants have made substantial progress in energy savings, water savings, sustainable food usage, disposable usage, proper usage of chemicals, etc. This shoots out about 20% of what a standard dish room faucet aerator would shoot. So again, we have fabulous savings in water here. Restaurants can effectively recycle 30 to 40% of their waste, and once we get composting in the city of Chicago, that number will double to almost 70%.
Being green is paying attention making sure we buy humanely raised and slaughtered foodstuffs, that we buy locally in every way that we can.
And we're hoping that the restaurant industry in Chicago can embrace that and help lead this city and the region into a more sustainable future by using practices that have been around for thousands of years. Using the world and the earth in which we live in the best possible manner is really our goal for the Green Chicago Restaurant Co-op and the future of the restaurants in Chicago.
That's the other part of my mission, is to always feed my customers safe and healthy food in a safe and healthy environment.
We're redefining the use of green vehicles by pushing the envelope wherever we can. My name is Matthew Stewart. I work for the City of Chicago Department of Fleet Management in the automotive engineering section, and I'm responsible for purchases of green vehicles, retrofits of green vehicles, or other environmentally friendly vehicle technologies. I would say my inspiration and passion come from me loving the outdoors, loving the world we live in. Believing that and going to work for a fleet, they're usually opposed, because a fleet by definition is burning a bunch of fuel to move things or people or do work. In a very large fleet environment like this, there's a lot of opportunities to make impacts with green vehicles. We have a wide variety in our fleet. We have everything from a small passenger car to refuse trucks and fire trucks and off-road equipment. Sustainability in a fleet operation means using technologies that reduce fuel usage, and it means using fuels that can be produced in renewable ways, including electricity and traditional liquid fuels. I think what we do uniquely as the Chicago Department of Fleet Management is we get the job done, we get these vehicles out there, we keep them reliably working on the street while bringing new technology into the mix, without making the greening of the fleet something that people would resent because it hampers their ability to get their work done. There are other fleets that are green like this too, but in this area I can't think of a bigger one that is doing more, that has more push from the highest levels to green its operations. And that, to me, believing what I believe about the environment and wanting to see change in the environment, that to me is a wonderful and unique opportunity. That is part of my job now, to green our transportation industry in this city, to reduce the amount of fuel we burn, and that's something I look forward to every morning when I get up and come in and can accomplish something like that.
There's almost no excuse not to be doing this. Why isn't everyone doing this? I'm Nathan Kipnis, and I'm an architect, and I specialize in green design. When I first got out of school with my Masters of Architecture with an energy conscious design emphasis, there was no work. And basically I had to just start sneaking stuff into projects one at a time without even telling the clients and just seeing how it worked. I think the thing that really sets us apart in our architectural work is that we really do try and take advantage of what a site has to offer. So natural daylighting, natural ventilation to help ventilate the space so we don't need air conditioning so much, correct shading so that the sun is blocked at the right time of the year. You can see the different roof forms here. You can see this is where the natural ventilation would occur. That's the green roof in the middle, some rain barrels on the sides, and then the different panels. We've got the solar thermal panels and the solar photovoltaic panels over there. So doing those things really doesn't cost anything. It's just being smart about how you're locating the windows, how you're setting up the overhangs, etc. And that to me is the best thing about elements in a green design, is if you can make them do multiple things, then you can afford them. They're more fun that way, and they get integrated into a home easier. I think instead of looking at what's new, we like to look at what's old. And the way these old historic homes were done, those were perfect. And if we can glean something from that and then integrate it into our homes we're doing now and still make them feel modern, that's really a nice way to do it. We really have an interesting responsibility because we make the buildings. And buildings are about 50% of the CO2 emitted into the air. And so architects really hold the key to making the world work with where we're at with CO2 and all the environmental problems associated with that. I think my work is important because I really can't imagine doing this any other way. And I think morally, if you know this, it's crazy to not design in a green way and to do what you can do. And it's not like I'm trying to save the world, but I'm doing my part. And all I can do is what I'm doing. And if I don't do it, I'll disappoint myself.
I think my inspiration comes from freaking out when my son was 6 months old and he was having his first asthma attack. I don't want a mom to have to go through that. No mom should have to go through that. My name is Kimberly Wasserman. I am the executive director of the Little Village Environmental Justice Organization. I was born and raised in Little Village, and I currently live here. And we are an environmental justice organization that does community organizing in the Little Village and Chicago area. I think what separates us is that we are community organizers at heart. We are people of color, and we are from this community. Low-income communities of color all over the world are suffering the brunt of climate change, and we're helping unite that voice and tell our story and talk about how we as a community have to fix the problem at hand.
Nosotros hacemos la pregunta, ¿verdad? ¿Por qué el concejal escogió traer una factoría en vez de un parque?
It really is about opening people's eyes and their hearts to understand that climate and energy are hand in hand. And when you decide that you're going to flip that switch or you're going to turn on that iPod, you need to be thinking about who else that's impacting down the line.
Revolutionary talk reworded, but those of us concerned with the systematic murder of a people deserted.
Through the Clean Power campaign, we're giving that voice by giving a picture to what dirty coal power plants do. We live next door to this coal power plant. We have to see it on a daily basis. We have to breathe the air that they pollute on a daily basis, and we have a choice. We live in a society where technology is changing on a day-to-day, where we understand the impacts every day more and more of these dirty, outdated plants, and we shouldn't have to live like this anymore. We shouldn't have to suffer the brunt of pollution for money as a community. And so I think we're helping bring that voice to Chicago as well. Everybody has the right to have the best environment around them. And we need to remind people that color and race and socioeconomic status don't matter. What matters is the air we breathe. And if it's polluted here, it's going to be polluted in other areas where people think it's not. If we really want to do something about the environment, we need to be talking to the communities that are the most impacted and asking them, how do we fix this? Because it's not going to get fixed at City Hall. It's not going to get fixed in the White House. It's going to get fixed by our communities leading the charge and setting the example for everybody else.
We got some big problems to solve, and they're solvable, but not if everyone's complaining about this, that, and the other, or off on their own little la-la land. I mean, we all got to get our nose down to the grindstone and get this figured out.
Customers are looking for locally produced products in restaurants more and more.
I consider being green by questioning if the choice that I am making is going to harm somebody now and in the future.
What we do here in greening the city of Chicago's fleet is uniquely a Chicago way of going about it.
We have this amazing network, this amazing community of people who just want to encourage each other. And I think that's uniquely Chicago.
When we started, we felt like voices in the wilderness. And now all of the major vendors are now carrying lines of green chemicals and locally grown products and produce. I'm happy to say the green movement is really a movement.